It's got my secrets, nothing more. I check the drawers, I check the spikes. Left me hanging in my Nikes. Last night we tore up the town. Now my wallet's not around. Call the cops or play it smooth. Pay my debts and start anew. Hey, hey, where'd it go? My cash, my cars, my flow. Don't you know what's gone? Now I'm broke from dusk till dawn. Dancing lights and screaming bass. Drinks were flowing in that place. Left a tip but lost my grip. Now my wallet's gonna slip.
In a world where financial advice is as blurry as a wild night of cheap Jell-O shots, clear your head and your monetary halitosis with the About That Wallet Show hosted by Anthony Weaver. Leave those Jell-O shots for the amateurs and learn to indulge in the top shelf bottles, baby. Now, here's your host, Anthony Weaver.
It's here, the first humanoid robot housekeeper.
Thank you, Neo.
For $20,000, you can pre-order 1X's Neo robot now, with delivery in 2026.
I think you missed a tiny spot over here.
Just one little catch. There may be a human behind the curtain, pulling the robot strings.
If I throw up, will the robot throw up?
A company representative may need to peer into your house via Neo's camera eyes to get things done.
To many people, this is crazy.
You have to be okay with this for the product to be useful.
But is Neo a useful product?
We're twinning now, Neo.
Home robots have had two big challenges: creating a safe and capable body and a smart brain. 1X is taking on both of those, which is why Neo looks so different from a more industrial factory robot.
Neo, it's 70 degrees here in California. Why are you wearing a sweater?
Good question. Brent, why am I wearing a sweater?
It's a combination of safety and just also generally aesthetics. You can think of it kind of like a skin, except if it was an actual skin, that would probably be pretty creepy.
It would be creepy, but I actually wasn't all that creeped out by Neo.
Inside Neo, it really starts with some very, very powerful motors that we have developed here at 1X. These motors are so strong and light that instead of using the classical gears that you see in robots, we can actually pull on tendons loosely inspired by biology and muscles. This allows Neo to move around not just quietly and smoothly, but also be very, very lightweight and be very low energy in motion, just like people.
That lightweight design is intended for our safety, in case the 66-pound robot falls. Although Neo is capable of lifting up to 150 pounds, it's not as superhuman as you'd think.
Crush it. It's a walnut.
There's this concept that we think that robots are like superhuman in like pressure and like strength. And some robots are because they're heavily geared, but that means you're not sensitive, right? And delicate. Neo doesn't work like this at all. It works more like us. So the finger strength of Neo is about the same as a human.
That body lets Neo try to do a lot of things humans do. Emphasis on try.
Can I get a water?
If only the real world didn't have doors. All in, it took Neo a little over a minute to fetch a water from the fridge 10 feet away.
Thank you, Neo.
Next challenge, load 3 items in the dishwasher.
You got this, Neo. You got it.
And that took 5 minutes. The Neo I saw isn't the one shipping in 2026. The new model will be safer and have better hand dexterity. The one I saw still needed to take breaks to charge and cool down. The challenge isn't just Neo's body, it's also its brain. The body has to perform tasks safely, but the brain needs to know how to do them on its own, without human help. But right now, everything I saw Neo do was guided by a skilled pilot.
Teleoperation is essentially when there is a human in the loop.
And who is the voice I'm hearing right now of Neo?
Hi, I am a remote operator in a different room in the building.
And what's your name?
Turing.
What's your real name?
My real name is Turing.
Like that's your name on your birth certificate?
Yes, it is, believe it or not.
Alan Turing was, of course, the famous computer science and artificial intelligence pioneer. But this Turing, with a VR headset and controllers, was the one actually operating Neo.
I guess that would be very helpful that I change the microphone input. Okay, I'll get this right. Thank you for letting me know inside the audience that I was not utilizing my microphone properly. But can you hear the music, or at least the live stuff? I believe you should be able to hear the video.
That is until he handed me the controllers.
I actually might throw up. I think my hand is... I have no idea where I'm facing. This is me doing the Macarena.
Yeah. Ooh. Yeah, we're fine.
And Neo had to go to urgent care.
See you, Neo.
Why does Neo need to be operated like this in the first place? Because its brain, aka an AI neural network, needs to learn from more real-world experience. The videos of the robot doing things via teleoperation become the training data to make the AI model smarter. That's why 1X is putting Neo in the homes of early adopters.
I think it's quite important for me to just say that in 2026, if you buy this product, it is because you're okay with that social contract. If we don't have your data, we can't make the product better. I'm a big fan of what I call like big brother, big sister principle, right? Big sister helps you. Big brother is just there to kind of monitor you. And we are very much the big sister. Depending on how much you want to trade, we can be more useful. And you decide where on that scale you want to be.
Do you right now know what things Neo in 2026 will do autonomously versus what it will do teleoperated?
So when you get your Neo in 2026, it will do most of the things in your home autonomously. The quality of that work will vary and will improve drastically quite fast as we get data.
To be clear, on my visit, I didn't see Neo do anything autonomously. The company did share this video of Neo autonomously opening the door.
You know, there's this new trending concept now called AI slop, right?
I do know.
It's a very powerful concept of, let's call it robotics slop. It's the most useful kind of slop. Because if you put all of my glasses from my dishwasher in my cabinet, I'm pretty happy. It is going to be not perfect, but back to like just incredibly useful.
Neo might not fold my shirt perfectly, but if an arm is like kind of hanging out of the shirt, like it's okay. It's robotic slop. It's
To me at least, like that's very okay.
Honestly, it isn't bad. Thank you.
But the reality is, at least at
It's
first,
bad if she had
much
to
of
think
Neo's
about
work
it.
will be done by someone else. There'll be an app where you can schedule teleoperation, specifying exactly what and when you want Neo to do things in your house.
So we want to, of course, make sure that we respect privacy as much as possible and that it's always on your terms. You are always in control. Some examples of this is the teleoperator does not see you, right? We can blur people.
What?
Teleoperator also cannot go into specific parts of your home where you set no-go zones. So that's enforced on the software level. So even if the teleoperator try, they cannot get the robot to go into those homes. And also the teleoperator can never connect to a robot unless you approve it.
Other companies, like Figure and Tesla, are also racing to build humanoid robots and develop their own AI models to make them fully autonomous. As someone who's always dreamed of the home robot straight out of the Jetsons,
Let's go home, Rosie.
It's funny one with the
Yes,
Jetsons
ma'am.
instead of
the dream
iRobot.
finally feels within reach. But I also couldn't shake flashes of Ex Machina.
Do you have a name?
Ava.
Well, I'm
Neo
not
turns on the
saying
stove
anything, so
and throws some paper on and walks away. Can Neo do that? Will Neo do that?
Neo will
I'll
not
let
do
the
that.
audio go away.
Physically, can the robot do that? Yes. Physically, can a lot of products in your home do something dangerous if they decided to? Yes. We will ensure that that is not something that Neo is allowed to do. There are multiple layers of safety systems here that ensures that Neo cannot do something like this.
Neo decides to take a very heavy piece of wood, like the top of a table, and drop it on me when I'm sleeping.
Neo will not be able to, or allowed to, it's physically capable of, but it will not be allowed to pick up something that is that heavy. So it's like things that Neo cannot do is like pick up something that is very hot, pick up something that's very heavy, pick up something that's very sharp.
Nice job, Neo. High five. Nice. Oh, I'm over here.
Spending the day with Neo was a bit like spending the day with a toddler learning how to do things in the world.
Come on. You got more than. Oh, I'm going to break the robot.
The next few years isn't about owning a super useful robot. It's about raising one, letting it learn from your home, routines, and chores, all at the expense of the privacy of your inner sanctum. Even if you think this is
think this
all
is gonna be
crazy,
very
what Neo
interesting.
really signals is the beginning of physical AI in our lives and homes. A future where we may work alongside a new kind of machine.
What I really hope we can achieve is in 5 years,
Okay.
everyone has a very high quality of life. Everyone
Thanks for
has a
letting me
feeling
know.
of independence, irregardless of their age or any kind of disability. And I do hope we can give people more of their agency back and people can focus on what they actually want to do.
No. Like this. 6, 7. 6, 7.
Oh my gosh, why did they get that in there? So, you know, you have to kind of think about it. Like, this is something that I have to say could potentially have some plus and minuses. I could see it definitely as a caregiver. So, say if you, as a child of a parent that needs some help around the house, or you just wanted to talk to them and sit and talk to them, but you physically can't go there, you can turn on the robot, have a conversation, and kind of motion around to kind of either help put them to bed, make sure they take their meds, try to find a way to make sure that their lives are doing well. So having one of those $20,000 AI robots doesn't sound that bad when you think about it. And they actually are going to be delivering them, in 2026 is what they said. So that is going to be interesting. But I do have story time. I know you guys like story time. Let me see if I can set the mood for story time. We have scary stories created by ChatGPT. See if I can. Scary times. All right. So here we are. Alone. We have the story called The Budget That Disappeared. Okay. Let me see if I can put something in the background. Let me set the mood here. Give myself a little bit of background. Wish I had like some B-roll or something. There we go. I'll move this little creature out the way. They added some new features, so just bear with me here with these overlays that they added. Move this out the way. Okay. So, as we set the mood, this is story time, and y'all get to watch that. So, I actually think this is a pretty cool view. Let me know what y'all think anyway in the comments. But anyway, here we go. This is story time. The Budget That Disappeared. In the heart of the city, tucked inside a 2-bedroom apartment, lived Marcus and Tasha. They both worked hard. Marcus driving for a delivery company. Tasha managing a dental office, pulling in about $100,000 together. It wasn't much after taxes, rent, and daycare for their kids. And now Tasha's father had moved in, and after his health started declining. Money was tight, but they thought they had it under control. Rent was paid, groceries bought, the lights stayed on. But somehow, by the 20th of every month, their account balance would vanish. Like money ghosts, snatching it in the night. Oh my gosh. One night, Marcus woke up to an eerie glow on his phone. Matter of fact, I'm gonna start this over. Yeah, because y'all watching this live. I want to see if I can get this let's see if I can share show a little bit more. If they can move myself around. There we go. Whatever. Okay. I'm actually going to go live on Instagram because I actually think I want to share this as well to the folks on Instagram as a scary story. And then after I read it, then I'll get off of my live on Instagram. So let's see what happens. Let's see. Go live. Sorry for the wait, you guys. But I wanted to make this work. You know what I'm saying? Because scary times, as they say. Details. Scary budget story. Add title. Then do I have my lapel microphones? This is the reason why you always gotta have like lapel microphones. They come in handy sometimes. So think about it, I actually have like 3 pairs of these. I just hope these are charged. And I got 68%. So let me hook this up. Okay. Is it on? As I say, is it in yet? Okay. Don't tell me it died. You know what? It didn't charge, so be right back. Gotta get my charging of my this is the part that y'all don't normally see. I usually have everything charged up, but be right back. I got to get my my headset. Not my headset, my actual lapel mic for the phone so that I can go live and y'all can hear it on Instagram too. Another reason why you always gotta have backups. So this is lapel mic number 2. Since I don't need my headset, y'all don't have to hear me. I don't have to hear myself really. Okay. Got that done. Get this lapel mic going. This is the fun part that, like I said, it's y'all typically don't see or hear, and I think it is connected. Yep. Okay, let's go ahead on and go live on Instagram. Y'all gonna hear this story because I actually thought it was pretty spooky scary. Let's see. I'm not to drop 20 grand on one. Yeah, I mean 20 grand on a robot is pretty scary. I mean, that is a scary topic to talk about since we are in scary times right now, especially with the finances. So, speaking of finances, I have a scary financial story to share with you all. So, let's see. Go to my story. Okay. Starting over. There's a reason why y'all watch live versus pre-recorded. The Budget That Disappeared by ChatGPT and Anthony Weaver. Came up with the idea with Anthony Weaver. In the heart of the city, tucked inside a small 2-bedroom apartment, lived Marcus and Tasha. They both lived. Oh my gosh, I can't read. Ugh. So start all over. I'm gonna go ahead on and try to make this right. There we go. Okay, we're gonna do this over. Starting over. And for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you get the little pumpkin situation. So make sure y'all like and subscribe. All right, starting over for the 3rd time. This is the reason why I probably need to read my own audiobooks. The Budget That Disappeared. In the heart of the city, tucked in a small 2-bedroom apartment, lived Marcus and Tasha. They both worked hard. Marcus driving for a delivery company and Tasha managing a dental office, pulling in about $100,000 together. It wasn't much after taxes, rent, and daycare for the kids. And now Tasha's father had moved in after his health started declining. Money was tight, but they thought they had it under control. Rent was paid, groceries bought, the light stayed on. But somehow, by the 20th of every month, their account balance would vanish. Like money goes snatching it in the night. One night, Marcus woke up to an eerie glow on his phone. He saw another pending transaction alert, $237 for something called Care Help. He didn't remember signing up for that. He checked the credit card, a gym membership, 3 streaming services, food delivery subscriptions, and even a couple of one time purchases for the kids. He woke Tasha. We're leaking money, he said, rubbing her eyes confused. That morning, they sat down with a notepad, listing every expense. As they totaled things up, the real horror emerged. They were spending almost $1,500 a month on extras they didn't even notice. That was the moment Tasha's father walked into the kitchen. You know, he said softly, your mother and I used to lose money all the same way. One difference was ours disappeared to loaning it out to family. They laughed nervously. Ha ha ha. Relieved it wasn't something serious. But when Marcus checked his message later, he froze. There was a new one from Tasha's sister. Hey, thanks for sending Dad's card info. The home care company said the payments went through perfectly. The twist, they weren't the only ones in the apartment making financial decisions. Ooh. I mean, what do y'all think about that story time? I mean, I thought that story was pretty cool. I'm not sure about y'all, but that was the story for the day. Okay. With that being said, now we got to go into presentation mode because I always got presentations. What we're going to be talking about, which is the main topic. Matter of fact, before we get to that, let's go ahead and go to our commercial break, and then we'll jump right into the topic for the day. All right, hold tight, and want to find my commercial wherever it is. There we go. All right. Hopefully, y'all were able to answer that trivia quiz with no problems. You said no change. That's all right. So, what we're going to be talking about today is navigating the haunted house of finances, a spooky guide to the financial generation, unmasking the masters of money and money management and future planning. If I can get to my stuff. So the number one thing, far as the least scary to the most scary, is move this out the way. So only thing about having multiple screens is like trying to figure out which one that's best suited for the situation. There we go. Okay. There we go. There we go. We in there. All right. They ghost their own budget. You know, the one of the things about when it comes to the sandwich generation is that it's all too familiar that we typically have a budget together, but we just seem to not keep good um records of our budget. Like, what do we spend it on? Who are we giving money to? Where is our money actually going? And is our money actually making money when we put it to where it's supposed to be? Or even we investing it, because some people put their money inside the 401k and just let it sit. Are you including yourself in that budget? That's a very mild, but this is something to think about. It could be very scary in the sense that you thinking you're investing, but you're not. So one of the things is that there's a quote here. If you're not tracking where your money's going, that's a silent killer of your goals. So I want you to keep that in mind when you are looking at your budget. And hopefully y'all like that grimoire that they have on there. All right. So this is the number 2 one. The sandwich generation constantly keep financial secrets from each other. That actually causes a lot of hidden issues, and it could be very scary, especially for somebody you love, somebody you care for. Because if you're hiding those situations, what you're going to do financially, that could actually cause a lot of issues. So think about it. Financial ghosts from the past always come back to haunt your relationship. If you haven't figured out how to budget in the past, I think it's time to be open about your financial relationship with your partner. Start sharing some of those secret credit cards, undisclosed debt, hidden shopping habits. If you know that the person you're with loves to shop, love to be on Amazon, or love to go window shopping, and then always coming home because they just don't like being in the house, you might want to take a moment to actually have that transparency with your partner, because that is definitely a ghost of the past that keeps coming back up. And you do not want that to come between you and your partner. This is number 3. The sandwich generation. They always, well, they seem, I'll say they all, I like to say some of them, drain their savings to help someone else. Do you have a partner that would actually give you their last dollar to help a family member, even though they're struggling themselves? They have their own kids to deal with, they have their own parents to deal with, and then to kind of help somebody else. Like, the sandwich generation is already squeezed as it is. However, they're being pulled in so many different directions. Now, and here's in quotes, is that's financial vampirism. You're bleeding your own future dry. If you say that you want to retire, you saying that you want to have these particular goals as somebody that's kind of handling your children and also your kids, this is the time to start thinking about it. What are you doing that's actually bleeding your future dry? What boundaries are you not setting? So this is a beautiful time right now to take a moment to reflect on the things that you need to put in place. Think about it as the garlic to the vampire to stop the bleeding so that you can live the life that you want to have in the future. Now, some of these examples that I have on here is always helping your mom and dad, covering their bills, their unexpected expenses, and home repairs. Like, do you always have to kind of take care of them for that? Do you have other siblings to assist? Are there housing programs that can support them in their need? Are there other things because of the age that they can qualify for? So I want you to kind of think about those things so you're not bleeding yourself dry so that you can have a future that you want. Now, supporting the kids, you got college costs, car payments, rent assistance. Those car payments, I've seen a lot of parents are paying all out for their kids to have a vehicle. Now, the question is what type of vehicle, how much of a vehicle did they give them? And are the kids even paying in half of their car payments? Did they really need the expensive type of car? I remember my first two vehicles were under $3,000 each. Yeah, for each one. So it's possible. But the thing about it, you got to make a sacrifice. And if they can make it home, they can get to work. These are things I want you to think about. So, for those of you who are on the gram, there we go. I'm trying to make it bigger for the people who are on YouTube, so it's a little easier to see. Now, you also got to think about the generosity is beautiful, but the matrodom isn't a retirement plan. You can't pour from an empty cup, and you definitely can't retire on one either. So, I mean, you might get thirsty. That's why they always say dig a well when you're not thirsty. So by the time you're done, you can have some water. This is number 4, which is the sandwich generation has a tendency to avoid talking about wills, trust, and life insurance. That is very scary, especially in the times when it comes around to the holidays. It's too uncomfortable. It's not the right time. Spoiler alert when it comes to not the right time, death doesn't wait. So while you're here, take a moment to go down and write out a will. Learn about a trust and start thinking about the life insurance. Because you can have your life insurance have your trust as a beneficiary of your life insurance. Have the will actually outline what's going to happen financially with your assets and how the thing's going to be divvied out. Even if you have a business, what is going to happen to that business? Does the trust own it? Do you dissolve the business? If you have one of those MLMs, which is multi-layered marketing companies, what does that look like? Have you talked to them to see what happens when you pass away? Does it get passed down to your children or does it go to the trust? Because say if you built up a nice, healthy program, who continues to collect the funding for your estate? And what does that look like? Now, also, you got to talk about this real scary story is that you lost the loved one. So what are you going to do now? These are the ways, like, write it out, write these things out. And that's why it's very important to do it while you're alive now. Now, they have on here in quotes, like, that's a real horror story. Leaving your family to figure it out in the dark. A lot of people don't like the dark. Hence, you have a shining light to kind of help support that. So you want to start thinking about how to make all of that together. All right. So this is number 5, which is they think they have time to get it together until it's too late. The I'll start tomorrow trap. No emergency fund, no backup plan, no safety net. Then one event strikes, job loss, sudden illness, aging parents have care needs, and we got furlough right now, which is equivalent to a job loss, like you're working for free. But what does that really look like? And the scariest part is that thinking tomorrow is guaranteed. It's not. It's not. So start today. Start now. Before you go to bed, I want you to start thinking about, if something were to happen to me, I got into an accident tomorrow, and for some reason I can't go home tomorrow, Does my loved one has either the location of where all of my stuff is documented, far as the access to who's the estate planner, who is the health person for you in case something happens? Is there a person that's a financial um that's handling all your finances while you're incapacitated? Who is speaking up for you? And will they know that? And who to contact? So that's very important. So that's the very last thing. And I just want to thank you all for listening to that presentation talking about the 5 scary money mistakes the 7th generation makes. And I want you to think about that because that was actually pretty cool. So some of y'all be like, man, how did you put up this slide so quickly? Because this is the time now we actually can do some Q&A. But I'm gonna just give you some background info. I did most of this utilizing ChatGPT to kind of come up with this stuff because they already know my audience and it already knows a lot about me. And I'm utilizing this tool called Gamma. And Gamma does not have a referral code, so I won't be able to just kind of just share it, but like, hey, trying to support the show. But the cool thing about it, it's free. Y'all know me. I try to do all my free stuff so y'all can see it too and make sure that you're successful as much as I'm successful. And I have to say, for some people who don't really know about Gamma, you should get on it. Especially if you do a lot of presentations, if you have a speaking engagement coming up, great tool to kind of utilize, and you can set up everything in the format that you like. If you guys want me to do a quick demo of how to use Gamma, just let me know in the chat. If not, this is going to be a short one today, mostly because it's Halloween Eve. Y'all go out, have some drinks, have some candy corn if you like candy corn. I'm more than likely not going to have candy corn. However, I might have Reese's peanut butter cup. So I bid y'all adieu and make sure that you continue to be non-scary with your finances. All right. Y'all be safe out there. I'm out. Peace.